Hi everybody, this is Lisa from Sutton's Days. Today we're going to be canning mushrooms. Ooh, I love mushrooms. So in our area, there is a farmer's market. It's now in its second week for the season as of today. And every year there's a vendor there that I order mushrooms from. And he typically gets me anywhere from 2 to 3 cases of mushrooms every season, and I can them up. And it takes about a year to get through both cases. And that's normal. That's normal. That's actually a little less. This year we didn't go through quite as many. We still went through quite a lot, but the kids didn't like mushrooms, and so we just didn't make them as much as we normally would. Now, as my husband, my dear, dear, lovely husband will tell you, I'll eat mushrooms on anything. I love mushrooms. Love mushrooms. I could make dinner out of grilled mushrooms and onions. Happiest person in the world. Add some peppers. Watch me glow. Okay? Good stuff. I just love it. So I love canning mushrooms, and I can them in pint jars. So there's always a lot. You can do half pint jars if there's just a couple of you and you're not as in love with mushrooms as I am, or if you're one person, who you want to make the portions more that like what you want. That didn't come out right, did it? So the case that I get looks like this. Okay, it's a pretty big case. It's full of mushrooms, button mushrooms, and what I have to do, there's no weight or anything. What I have to do is get them home and then start dicing them up. And I dice them up, I rinse them off really good, and I've got a pot going on the stove that I'm bringing to a boil, and you boil down the mushrooms, you cook them down quite a bit actually, because you're gonna go from this beautiful, look at this, look at that mushroom, just gorgeous. Love them, just love them. Do I have mushroom on my nose? You're going to go from that, and I'll show you what you end up with. But you're going to cook them down quite a bit, and then you're going to just stuff them into jars. So figured you might want to come along on this adventure. Canning mushrooms for me, that case right there. Slow down, Lisa. That case is $20. I purchased it for $20, okay? We're going to figure out how many pints I can get out of these 2 cases of mushrooms. And normally a package of mushrooms is around $1.99. The sliced button mushrooms or the whole button mushrooms, $1.99 to $2.25, give or take, in our area. I can guarantee you that I'm getting at least twice as many mushrooms, if not more, in this case. So I'm saving at least 50% by buying them in bulk like this. And then by canning them, I've got them ready anytime. Now, mushrooms, I love mushrooms, but I do prefer them cooked. That's the one vegetable I do prefer cooked. So for me, putting them in jars, making them shelf stable, making them something that I can get to whenever I feel like it, is convenience at its prime. It's really just wonderful. Having fresh mushrooms is very rarely something that I'm concerned with. So, pardon me. So this works really well for me and mine. On the rare occasions that I might want fresh mushrooms, I can go spend the $2. But most of the time, I'm cooking them in something. So this works out really, really good. What can you use canned mushrooms for? Canned mushrooms, you can use them, like I said. You can come home, it's been a heck of a day, and you just want a meat, you want a steak or pork chops or something, and you would love some grilled onions and mushrooms. So in my house, all you have to do is you have to go into the pantry and you have to grab a pint of onions and a pint of mushrooms. You have to open them up, drain the juice off, throw them into your cast iron skillet with some oil of your choice, seasoning of your choice, grill those up, and by the time your steak is done, you just melt them over the top. They're so good, I'm telling you. My mouth is watering thinking about it. Okay, I might have to have mushrooms for dinner. So today we're going to can some mushrooms so that I have them tomorrow. So right now, this is what we're doing. So right now, I'm not even washing them beforehand, and ideally you would like them where the top is, where the buttons are more like this, where they're closed. But that's just not going to happen with a bulk purchase. So, you want to make sure that you're rinsing them really, really well. I cut them up. I don't spend a lot of time being very precise about anything. And honestly, using like an egg slicer or something, I've heard is easier, but I think it would be much more labor intensive when you're trying to do this kind of quantity. Okay, I'm going to take the shrooms and I'm going to rinse them off really, really good. Really good. Do it in a nice, doesn't matter cold, hot, but I don't really want to waste the energy on the hot water. So I just want to rinse them off as well as I can. And then I'm going to dump them into my stock pot. So I'm going to put them in my stock pot, and we're going to put a lot more in here because there's a lot of room. See that? We're going to just stuff this puppy full, but I'm going to get it going and get it heated up while I'm chopping them, because otherwise it would just take forever to bring it. You want to get it to a boil as close as you can. And you're going to cook them down to where they all turn brown and they're nice and, soft. Okay, so I diced up 1 case of the mushrooms, filled the stock pot. That's where I'm at there. Okay, so there's a little bit of room, not a lot. And we have these on, well, almost high, and we're going to let them cook down, and I'll show you what they look like when they're ready to go into jars. Okay, so this is what the mushrooms look like when you get them cooked down. You could cook them down a little bit more, but I don't see the need. There's a lot of extra room in there now. Look at that really good mushroom broth. We'll be doing something with that too. But now we're going to, with a slotted spoon, start filling jars. Okay, so when I get the jars all full, I'll come back. Okay, 1 case of the mushrooms came up to 11 pints. And I have these bad boys crammed in there. Look at that. Okay. So right now I'm working out some bubbles. There is, let's see, slow down. Okay. So you want to work out the bubbles. That's important. And you want to leave an inch headspace with fresh, clean, boiling water. Might have to dump a little out of that one. Then you want to wipe the rims. You want to put on the lids. You want to put on the bands. And then you want to put it in the pressure canner for 45 minutes at 11 pounds of pressure, depending on your altitude. So you want to make sure, check your altitude for where you live. For us, it is 11 pounds of pressure with a dial gauge canner. I haven't wiped the rims yet, so I can play a little hokey pokey here. Ooh, that's hot. Okay. Now I'm going to wipe the rims and do everything that I mentioned. Sorry for the lousy camera work. I need 3 arms. So that's where we're at. 1 case, 11 pints for $20. So that's not a bad deal, you guys. That's a little less than $2 a pint of mushrooms. You can't find that in a store. And these are going to be so good. Okay. So I will be back when I pull them out of the pressure canner. I forgot to mention that you need to let the pressure canner vent. That's where the steam is coming out of it for a solid 10 minutes before you put the cap on and let it build up pressure. Okay, very important part of it. It just won't be safe without it. But here we go. Ready, set, go. Okay, there we have 11 pints fresh out of the canner, still bubbling. Starting to get a few pings. They all look really good. We're going to let them sit overnight, and then tomorrow afternoon I will take the rings off and make sure all the lids are sealed and give the jars a nice little cleaning, and then mark them and put them up on the shelf. And after I finish this last case of mushrooms for the night, we should have a good amount of mushrooms to get us through until about this time next year. I hope everyone has a really great day, and I hope that you get an opportunity to pressure can some mushrooms for yourself and see what a wonderful treat they are. Talk to you soon. Bye.